Hello everyone, welcome to Storm Talk. Wave 3 News meteorologist Brian Good here, getting ready to head out to the Belle of Cincinnati. Kevin Harned will be on the Belle of Louisville, and we'll be battling out on the Ohio, starting with our coverage at 4 o'clock. The boat race, though, will kick in during the 5 o'clock hour into about 8 o'clock this evening, and we'll see. The Belle won. Belle of Cincinnati did not win last year. Belle of Louisville did win the Silver Antlers last year. All right, let's talk about the weather's looking, though. Looks good outside, really. We've noticed an increase in some of the cumulus clouds. These are fair weather cumulus. There's some that are trying to gain a little bit more height across southern Indiana, so they may be able to produce maybe an isolated sprinkle, but really the lower levels of the atmosphere are quite dry, so rain chances just pretty much below the 10% mark here for this afternoon. Not really worth mentioning, but there will be some cloud cover around. A little breezy time, so if you're heading down to the waterfront, Coctus Park is one of the areas where we're going to be picking up our special guest. We don't know who it is yet. If you're heading down there, keep in mind you can't park on River Road, but you can come down to that area at Coctus Park. We will be stopping by there for a brief moment during the race itself. A little breezy, though, so dress for temperatures slightly cooler that we'll show here on the forecast. Weather view shows the reason why we've seen increase in cloud cover is a couple of features, really. Got one, area of low pressure tracking to our south, moving across the Carolinas. And here comes our next feature. It's a little bit of a bowling ball, if you will. It's going to dive to the south, and it'll start to increase our clouds later tonight, and perhaps even give us some raindrops as early as tomorrow morning's commute. In the short term, looks good outside. We'll be knocking on the door of 70, it looks like, this afternoon, and then we'll fall back only to the 50s tonight. Much warmer night compared to the past several nights because the clouds, again, will be on the increase. But that rain chance should hold off until after, say, 2 or 3 in the morning. Then at that point, the bowling ball, as we call it, is very cold, upper level low, very compact low too, will dive down across Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. Now, the trend here has been slightly more to the east and a bit faster compared to yesterday when we were talking. That's good for us when it keeps the potential for anything as far as lightning and thunder and maybe some hail. Keeps that threat so much more to the south and east than it does here into the city itself. But the faster movement should allow us to hopefully get the chance to avoid a lot of the heating of the day to produce a lot of activity when it comes to the radar. So we'll time it out a little better as we get into the next 24 hours, but so far, so good. Here's some of the soundings here. This is the sounding from the NAM model around lunch period tomorrow. It is showing dry air at the bottom, lower level here in the atmosphere. Winds right around 12 miles per hour. They need it to be under 18 to get the inflatables down Broadway. But again, this is during lunch. At this point, it's showing some sunshine breaking through with a very strong winds. Look at the wind fields aloft as that low pressure dives to the south. Now, as we head to, say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we start to see the cumulus clouds develop after that sun we pick up at midday. Could start to see maybe an isolated shower, maybe some thunder. We got enough instability showing up here that we could see a few claps of thunder out of this. And freezing levels are right into this area here, so there very well could be some small hailstones that could mix in with that, mainly pea-sized. No need to panic about that. It's not going to be a severe issue at all when it comes to warnings, but maybe some small hail, some dark-looking, scary clouds every once in a while, and a brief shower. If you get a shower, you will cool down briefly into the upper 50s. But not everybody's going to see the showers, so overall I think 60s will dominate most of the afternoon. So still looks good for the parade. I mean, it's still going to be about a 30% chance for a downpour, but we may luck out on that 70% chance that it won't. We'll be right over downtown Louisville, and that is still possible. Just keep in mind, it's going to be a little breezy at times, and especially with those buildings in downtown and temperatures in the 60s, we may feel more like about 58 or 59 when you get down there. So bring a jacket and prepare for a few raindrops just in case. Here it is on the actual models. First off, the RPM. As we head into later tonight after midnight, closing in on actually the rush hour period on Thursday. Again, a few spotty showers may develop early in the day. We'll break out in that sun, but see what happens when you break out in that sunlight. You develop thunderstorms really on the radar. Best chance to get any type of lightning, heavy rain potentially, and some small hail will be in eastern Kentucky, but a few pockets may develop as far west as the I-65 corridor and south of the Ohio River. And then by the time we get to parade time, we may see a few leftover showers that may still try to generate, but you can see the difference here between showers and the cloud cover and then rain potential. It depends on whether you're going to be in around 56 or perhaps in the lower 60s. So kind of a cool day, but at least it still continues to look like it's not going to be a washout. Here's something we'll be watching for Oaks Day. That system, depending on how quickly it can get out of East Kentucky, will determine our cloud cover for some of the area, especially along and east of I-65 on Friday. I think here in Louisville we'll luck out and break into some sunshine and cross at least 70 degrees for a couple hours in the afternoon. But I have to stress, most of the day on Oaks Day will be in the 60s. So dress for that And keep in mind, only just a couple of hours will be 70 or higher for a little period of time. But still looks to be mostly sunny, maybe some high thin clouds once you go south of the Ohio River. Here's the NAM model. It's picking up on the idea tonight. A few spotty showers possible, again near sunrise. Tomorrow afternoon, very similar idea. The best chance south of the Ohio River in East Kentucky to see that arcing effect of that low pressure, kind of a spiral, if you will, a little spiral band that will develop of maybe some heavy downpours, lightning, thunder, and again, small hail. We'll see one of those spiral bands pop on the radar by midday afternoon. Hopefully it should ignite just south of Louisville, and it's going to be a close call, but I think time is on our side there. And then as we get into Oaks Day, it's picking up the idea too, some high clouds that may get stuck I-65 eastward for the afternoon, but it's still a very pleasant Oaks Day the way it is looking. All right, looking longer term here, let me take you into the other data we have for the upcoming period here for Derby weekend. You can see on Derby Day itself, not bad at all. Temperatures actually will be a little bit warmer than Oaks Day, into the mid-70s. We're still talking about sunshine. The biggest change really we've noticed in the midday data is that there is going to be a warm front to our north and a cold front to our west. It sets up here and up here to the north. And the trend right now is to hold them steady for several days next week. And if that happens, we may get stuck in a very pleasant warm flow in our area for several days next week before we have to really deal with this mess here in the Plain States. So everything's going to slow down somewhat next week, and eventually I think it's going to head our way by the later portions of the week and into Mother's Day weekend, but most of the week looks to be warm into the 80s. And notice GFS is trying to pick up on a tropical feature developing off the Carolina coast. We'll see if that is onto something or not. It's the first time we really, actually it was the morning run that really picked up on it this morning, and the midday run's still showing up, but we'll see if it's still there. But it doesn't seem to want to go anywhere, which is good. And we got a front coming our way, so the impact on the East Coast looks to be very minimal. But for us next week, a preview of summertime weather looks to be coming our way. And just get ready for potential for some thunderstorms for Mother's Day weekend. All right, guys, that's how it stands now. Looks pretty good overall. Much more. Digging with our special coverage of the Great Steamboat Race today at 4.